Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are diving deep into one of humanity's oldest dreams, actually living and working beneath the waves. We're going to explore the absolutely incredible history and the future of subsea habitats, our very own outposts in the ocean's inner space.
Hey, this isn't some new science fiction fantasy. The dream of an underwater frontier is ancient. It's an ambition that has driven explorers and innovators for centuries, and it has a surprisingly rich and fascinating history.
You know, we so often look up to the stars for the next frontier, and we spend billions to get a foothold off-world. But what about the massive, unexplored territory right here on our own planet? The ocean? Well, it's still one of the most mysterious and challenging places we know. And it's not like we haven't tried to conquer it. This isn't just about a handful of experiments. Over the last 6 decades, there have been more than 65 dedicated subsea habitats built. Every single one was a stepping stone in our quest to explore the ocean from the inside out.
Okay, let's dive into it. The story really kicks off in the 1960s, and it was fueled by the exact same Cold War ambition that was powering the space race. A whole new kind of competition began, but this time, the race was to the bottom of the sea.
Now, what's really amazing about this timeline is just the sheer speed of progress. I mean, think about it. In less than a decade, we went from one person spending 24 hours underwater to whole teams living for nearly 2 months on the seafloor. They were hitting major milestones almost every single year. It was wild.
And you had visionaries like the legend himself, Jacques Cousteau, really leading the way. His Conshelf 2 project, which had this incredible starfish house habitat, kept 5 oceanauts living and working for 30 straight days. It was proof that long-term life on the seafloor was actually possible.
Of course, the U.S. Navy wasn't just going to sit back and watch. They launched the Sealab program, which pushed the boundaries even further. And in this really cool crossover, astronaut Scott Carpenter actually traded his space helmet for a dive helmet and became a true aquanaut.
And get this. This moment just perfectly illustrates how important these missions were on a national level. Can you imagine taking a call from the President of the United States while you're living on the ocean floor and your voice is all squeaky and high-pitched from the helium in the air? It was a huge deal.
So now that we've seen these incredible achievements, let's kind of pop the hood and see how they work. I mean, how do these underwater homes actually function? It's not as simple as just sinking a box, and the design really changes depending on the mission.
So, the crucial point really boils down to self-sufficiency. Most habitats, like Sealab, were semi-autonomous. That means they relied on a lifeline, an umbilical cable stretching to the surface for all their power and air. But a few, like Cousteau's really ambitious Conshelf 3, were fully autonomous. They carried their own power, their own gas, which gave them so much more freedom. And then you have some even simpler designs. There are floating habitats, which are more like underwater viewing rooms on a bigger structure, and there are habitats connected by a physical shaft to the surface, which is pretty cool because they stay at normal air pressure, so you could visit without any need for decompression.
All right, so after all those incredible early experiments in the 60s, what's the lasting legacy? Where can people actually live under the sea today?
Well, the answer lies right here, at the Aquarius Reef Base. It's nestled on a reef just off the coast of Florida, and it's the world's only currently operating undersea research lab. It's a direct descendant of those pioneering habitats from that golden age.
And its mission is absolutely vital. Marine scientists use it for critical research, like studying the effects of climate change on coral reefs up close and personal. And in another amazing crossover, NASA runs its NEMO missions here. They use the extreme environment of the seafloor to simulate space missions and train their astronauts. How cool is that?
The legacy continues in other ways too. Back in 2014, Fabien Cousteau, Jacques' grandson, led Mission 31 right here at Aquarius. He and his team spent 31 consecutive days living and working underwater. A perfect tribute that went just 1 day longer than his grandfather's famous Conshelf 2 mission.
But the story is far from over. That original dream of a permanent human presence? Well, it's being reborn. It's now powered by incredible new technology and a renewed sense of urgency to understand our oceans, especially in an era of climate change.
A whole new generation of habitats is being developed. For example, a company called Deep is creating Sentinel. It's a system designed to let scientists live for long periods of time on the world's continental shelves, at depths of 200 meters. That's 10 times deeper than Aquarius, opening up huge new areas of the ocean for us to study.
And Fabien Cousteau, he is back with an even bigger vision, Proteus. The ambition behind this project, well, I think it's best described by this powerful analogy. They're not just planning a lab, they're planning a permanent, modular structure that can grow and expand, just like the ISS does in orbit.
So, this all brings us to a final thought. As we look to the future, with new technologies making the deep ocean more accessible than ever, maybe humanity's next great leap won't be up, but down. The greatest mysteries left for us to solve might just be in the inner space of our own world.